I've had a bit of an idea for a while that I wanted to start a YouTube channel because I was doing so many interesting things to do with roller skating. But now I am incredibly bored because I've broken my shoulder. My left shoulder. So my left hand is the one that I write with and do everything with. Well, not for the next 6 weeks or 12 weeks, it's not. But anyway, so I figured probably a good place to start these videos might be a story time about how I broke my arm. Well, not my arm, my shoulder. I live in Campbelltown, and my son, his father lives down in Wollongong. They love it down there very much. They've got a lovely boardwalk there. I guess that's what you call it. It's like I think it's a sea bridge or something like that. And basically it's very nice, smooth, flat surfaces that you can skate along. So I often go down there and skate my little heart out. I usually, not in one straight line, but I usually can get up to about 20 kilometers, so in 2.5 hours, so it's a pretty good distance. Pretty good time. I like it a lot. I can practice some backwards skating and feel like a rock star because the surfaces are so smooth. Met lots of other skaters along there, so that's always nice as well, giving them high fives as you're skating by and stuff. So anyway, so I was going on my skate. I'd probably been skating for about half an hour or so, not very long at all for me. There's one part of it, if I go one way and cross one part of the street, then I go to a very safe part of the bike track sort of thing, or the walking path. But if I cross the road, which I did this time, and then skate up a big hill towards the lighthouse, then once you get up that big hill and go a little bit further, there's a big hill down there, and it's like quite an incline, and then it just goes straight back up. So it's quite safe. Like once you get to the bottom and you're sweet, you go back up and you lose your speed, and everyone's happy and everyone's safe, usually. So I've been down this hill before and it felt a bit sketchy, but I made it down the other side and I was very happy about that. This time though, it's basically a sandbank at the bottom. So I was skating down, and as I was skating down, I was going significantly fast and bending down, and I was going okay, but there was a woman standing in the way, and she was just standing there with her arm out, and I yelled out, "Get out of the way!" because I'm like, I can't change direction at this speed. And because I was too busy concentrating on her, I saw the sand, but it was too late. I couldn't jump or anything like that. I tripped over the sand and my skates basically stopped, but my body kept going. So I had my wrist guards on and I reached out, tumbled onto this side and just ripped the arm out of its socket. Scraped all up my arm and everything, and it was horrible. And I was on my belly when I finally stopped moving, and I think I rolled over and my arm was just flopping above my head, and I knew something. I knew it was just too hard of a hit, and I was fairly sure it was broken, and I couldn't open my eyes because I was in that much pain. And the guy just kept asking, "You okay? You okay?" And I just kept going because I just couldn't move. I couldn't open my eyes, I couldn't speak. I think I managed to bring myself up, and I had to lift my arm down into this position because it just felt like that would probably be the right place to have my arm. And I just slumped over myself, and then a whole bunch of people came over and helped out, and I had quite a few lifeguards come over and help me. And they took my roller skates off, and I felt like I was going to be sick, which when I've had fairly major accidents before, I always get a feeling like I'm going to lose my stomach. I suppose it's the body's way of preparing for whatever's going to happen. Everyone came over and helped, which was really nice. And I was just really glad because I couldn't move. I was just breathing really deeply, trying to like get control of the pain. Sometimes when I've had big falls before, it just takes a couple of deep breaths and stuff like that, and a couple of minutes down to kind of regain homeostasis, but that wasn't the case this time. And I was like waiting for the ambulance to come, because I was like, give me that damn green whistle, which they did, and didn't really make the pain go away, but it made me care less, which was fantastic. Got in the ambulance, but my hand was going numb quickly, like it felt about 2 or 3 times the size it was meant to be. Yeah, so I knew something wasn't right, and I was just pissed off. I was pissed off that I'd injured myself so far away from home. I just kept thinking of all the consequences of it, basically, and I still am, like, beating myself up just a tiny bit about it. But I'm a single mama, and how am I gonna take care of my little boy in my house by myself with my dominant hand taken out? Yeah, so I was just really quite annoyed. So anyway, the ambulance came and they loaded me up and took me to the hospital, and took me to the ER, and I was waiting a very long time, and I ended up screaming quite a bit in the ER waiting, and they just kept giving me more and more morphine. Again, I don't really feel like it helped with the pain, but it just meant that I was very close to kind of passing out with all of it. Did an x-ray, which was incredibly painful, but they didn't make me move, they moved me, so it was kind of alright, and they were pretty gentle. Found out it was fractured as well as dislocated, so because it was fractured as well, they sedated me. And the last thing I remember was looking up at my stats and stuff like that, and then I woke up and my arm felt 100 times better. Like, it was just, the entire arm was throbbing with undescribable pain. Like, I woke up and I'm like, oh, my arm feels a lot better. I wonder when they're going to do this thing. And I was like, hold on, they said they were sedating you. Oh, I'm waking up, got it. I thought I just had a mad nap. Yeah, so then they moved me somewhere else. Yeah, and I just kind of like started to realise a little bit more of what this meant, especially like not being able to work right around Christmas. Luckily, I started to cry because I was just so worried about everything, and so they sent a social worker in, and he wasn't the most helpful. I didn't take his lack of empathy personally. I just think he didn't have the ability to step into my shoes, unfortunately. But yeah, he was like, oh, well, don't suppose there's much we can do, but I'll refer you anyway, we'll see what happens. I was like, thanks. Just sitting here crying about my future. But he did refer me, and I've just actually gotten off the phone recently to a whole bunch of different people who will be helping me out. The help out there is amazing. So if you're ever struggling with anything, especially in Australia, if you're struggling with something, just go to one of these like St. Vincent de Paul's or Salvos or Baptist Care. Just go and tell them what's going on, and they'll know. If they can't help you, they'll know someone that can help you in some sort of way. Yeah, so anyway, that's me up to date for now. I kind of wanted to speak a little bit about, I guess, the mental gymnastics I've been doing since this injury. So I felt very stupid to begin with. I felt stupid that I'd had an accident. You've done this to yourself, which, yeah, of course I have done this to myself. But anyway, beating myself up about it. Then I started to kind of doubt like my ability as a roller skater. I was like, well, if you were a better roller skater, then this wouldn't have happened. And it's been beautiful days, and I feel like I'm missing out on the good weather. And yeah, I started to look up onto YouTube to try and find, because I've seen other roller skaters that have injured themselves quite significantly. Obviously it happens when you're rolling around real quick and it's real fun, you're gonna run into some problems. So like, I know it was Spicy Ivy, which she had a significant accident. She's a great skate park skater, and she broke her knee. Significant injury, and she's back at it. I'm sure it took her time to heal and everything, but I'd been watching her progression and kind of thinking like, fudge, to stop swearing, but fudge. That would just gut me if something like that happened, and it has. Like, I've had a couple of days to kind of adjust and do some mental gymnastics and stuff like that. So anyway, it happens. It does happen. It doesn't matter how experienced of a roller skater you are. Like, obviously I was wearing protective gear, but I can't wear protective gear on my entire body. I could, but I don't think it'd be the most comfortable for roller skating. Yeah, I'm just incredibly blessed with, like, even though I've said it's just me, looking after me and my kid and everything, that's been challenged a lot. That's my injury and some of the other little bits and pieces around it. I hope maybe this helps somebody else. Be really special to hear, because that's my intention with babbling. Peace. See you in the next one.